I wanted to talk just a little bit about something that is definitely on a lot of people's minds. And like I might make a legitimate, like detailed video on this in the future. But for now, I'm just going to share some reflections that I've had on this topic, and mainly ones that have come after listening to a podcast from the Bible Project.
Does the apocalypse mean the end of the world?
Yes.
Because in popular uses of the phrase, that's what it means.
Correct.
If you're talking about apocalypse, you're talking about the world ending.
That's right.
In English.
Yes, in English. And that's because look up the word apocalypse in any English dictionary, and it will tell you that it's an event, related to the catastrophic destruction of the world.
So they talk about how the Greek word that we get apocalypse from, apocalypsis, it means revelation, the revelation, the uncovering of divine things to humans. That's kind of what we're looking at with this Greek word here that we get our English word apocalypse from. Now, obviously, though, in English, that word apocalypse means something different, and so they talk about that, and they discuss the true nature and purpose of apocalyptic literature in the Bible. Books like Daniel and Revelation that can be really confusing and kind of hard to wrap your head around. And so one of the things that they point out in this podcast is that through disruption, through times of change and disruption, I think that's kind of like one of the best words to describe it. Through these times, God can reveal things to us and help us see the world as He sees it. And that's what we should be seeking in this whole COVID-19 situation. I love this idea of how in the midst of crazy, disruptive times, just allowing God to reveal things to us and help us to see the world as He sees it.
I mean, Daniel went through something disruptive. I've gone through some disruptive things, but this is apocalyptic, man. In that sense, something's happening that if my way of seeing the world remains the same after this, I'm just really not paying attention.
As Tim said, like I don't want to come out of this quarantine seeing the world exactly as I did before. I want to seek God in this time. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm trying to do my best to kind of be intentional with this time and seek God in this time. And I want to allow Him to reveal Himself to me in this time of disruption and in this time of change. And so their point in the podcast is that, this is an apocalypse in the sense that God is going to reveal things to His people, to His church in this time. And so that's where our minds and hearts should be, instead of worrying about whether this is the end of the world. Because that's not something we can know. And so, like, here's my advice. In this time, be attentive to what God may be trying to reveal to you through all this disruption, through all this change. Because I honestly think it's pointless to speculate about whether or not this is the end. But I think there are some things that God wants to reveal to His church in this time. So let's be attentive to those things.